love, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, J.Go, health and lifestyle coach and not so regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. What's up? Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. This episode is something that pertains to me. I think you're going to benefit from it for sure. If you have ever woken up and thought, I don't feel like it about something in your life, let's talk about it. I've had so many clients come up to me or even get on discovery calls with me. And a lot of you have even messaged me this in the DMs and just been like, J.Go, I need to find motivation. I'm just not motivated to change my life. I'm not motivated to work out more, move my body, eat healthier, all the things that you tell me you have as your goals. And I'm here to tell you that motivation is the most overrated part of your fitness and health and life and love journey. Motivation is not what's going to get you to the finish line. And I tell my clients this all the time, but I'm going to help you to connect deeper to what you really want to achieve in this life. Because if you are constantly just seeking motivation and feeling stuck and feeling like you can't get started or get moving, this episode is for you. Okay, so I really want to help you. First of all, stop saying that you need motivation. I think it's great when you start a new program or you're at a new gym or you're, just invested in yourself and you do start off with some motivation, right? You're like, okay, it's a new month. I'm super excited. And I never want to bash someone's motivation. I love setting intentions and getting motivated at the beginning of the month. But the truth is, if you rely on that again and again, you're going to be that person that's always saying, I'll start on Monday. I'll start over on Monday. I'll start next month, and just pushing it off again and again and again. And if you went through the crazy cluster F of a year that we had with the pandemic, your life changed, right? So if you were trying to wait for the perfect time, I hope that you've realized that there's never going to be a perfect time to get started on what you want out of life. So I want to help you to connect deeper with what you truly want so then we can actually create change that lasts. Let's talk about it. So how can you connect deeper with your why? It's really important to identify what you actually want. A lot of times we want to create changes, but we repeat things that we hear other people say, or maybe that we feel like we've been told, I need to lose weight. Okay, why? Are you just saying this because you have had a certain number on the scale in your head your entire life? That was me growing up a long time. And I realized that if that was my only focus, I was never going to stay consistent with my change. So I had to create a stronger why and have goals attached to that no longer made me focus on the day-to-day rise and fall of the scale. And that is what helped me stick with it in the long term. So my issue when it comes to, I'm in between on a lot of different things, right? I help people lose weight, but I never want that to be the main focus. I help people shift their mindset and change their life. And so weight loss might be a byproduct of you creating these life changes, changing your lifestyle, adjusting your routine, finding more healthy habits. But I do not want it to be the main focus. And if it is, you're still seeking that short-term change, right? It's okay for there to be weight loss as a goal if there's certain things that are associated with it that are going to help you health-wise. But I think most of the time when I'm working with someone and they're telling me that they need to lose weight, a lot of times it's something that they've just been feeling their entire life. And if they release that feeling of having to lose weight, they can start to focus on, well, what do I actually want out of life? What is the why behind it? Well, I want to feel more confident in my skin. Awesome. Let's start feeling more confident in our skin. Let's start doing some things to help with that. So getting really clear on your why is so important. I talk about this all in Body Confident Blueprint. I'm going through the modules for my Busy BCB course, which is a self-paced course. And as we're going through it, I'm just thinking, how can I help you? Because so many people come to me with these questions and they say things like, I don't feel like it. And here's the issue. I said I was between two different things. I really do want people to learn to listen to their body and connect with themselves more. But my issue is that a lot of times in the intuitive, listen to your body side of the world, they just tell people, okay, well, you just need to listen to your body and do what it tells you. But the truth is, maybe you've been so stuck in this like negative habit loop where you're really almost like punishing your body, not taking care of your body, and it's keeping you down this negative path of like always sleeping in, always pressing snooze, never going to work out, not getting movement, picking up food from the restaurant every single time you're driving home instead of cooking for yourself, staying in and not talking to anyone instead of going out and meeting friends. So all these habits where, if you do that every once in a while, it's not terrible. But if you get into a habit of doing it, or even like a rut is what a lot of my clients use the word, like I feel like I'm in a rut, that makes it harder to listen to our bodies because, like I've said in the past, when you're disconnected from your body and you're disconnected from yourself, it makes listening to your intuition, listening to your gut, listening to your body a lot more difficult. I mean, just the fact the term listen to your gut, so many of us have terrible gut health where we're not eating things that are helping us feel good and we're feeling really, really sick and sad and negative. And I'm speaking from experience, like when I'm not focusing on my health, it really, really affects my decision-making skills. So when I have the thought in the morning when I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like it. I'm just going to stay in bed all day. In that immediate thought, if I were to quote unquote listen to my body or listen to what my mind is saying, then I would immediately turn off the lights and go back to sleep, right? I would roll over and just not leave the bed. However, I think it's really important to recognize that a momentary feeling may not be the full reality of where we're at, right? It might not be what we're really, capable of in that specific day, even in that specific hour. A lot of times we gauge the temperature of our day based off of like one instance, right? Like I can't snap. Like boom, one thing happens and we don't want to get up anymore and our day's ruined and I'll start tomorrow and I can't do that anymore. I missed my workout or I pressed snooze. And it's like, as soon as one bad thing happens, and I'm saying bad because that's the term y'all would use, but something happens that doesn't go as planned and then boom, it snowballs into the rest of your day. But again, that's one moment. So maybe when you first wake up, you didn't sleep great. Okay. But like, should we let our entire day snowball into that one aspect of not pressing snooze or of pressing snooze and then, staying in bed a little longer? No, we don't have to. So what helps me is to, when I have those thoughts, like, I don't feel like it, I take a step back. So I get out of where I'm at in that current moment. And I just ask myself, does this decision get me closer to my goals or my highest self? Right? That's the first question I'll ask. And a lot of times no, pressing snooze will just make me feel behind on my day and I'm not going to feel great. And I always feel better once I get out of bed. And having that conversation can be helpful. Another question that I really like to ask myself is, what does my highest self need today? I really like this question because it feels less of like the hustle, like, no rest days, like let's go hard in the gym and always wake up at 4 a.m. and never press snooze. And I don't like the whole cut and dry, black and white decision-making things. I would rather you just get better and more connected to your highest self. And so as you get more connected, asking the question, what does my highest self need today, gets a lot more clear. So that's more of a question after you've connected with yourself a little bit more. The first question that I asked of, does this get me closer to my goals? That can help us kind of make that decision. Like, does this get me closer to my goals? Not really. Okay, well then maybe I should not press snooze and I should get up and do something. That can be a good start. But then as you start to get closer, you can ask yourself, okay, what does my highest self need today? And if you're like, okay, well, honestly, J.Go, I talk to myself a lot. Honestly, J.Go, I worked out yesterday. I am feeling a little overwhelmed right now. I don't want to be in a gym. I think that I would rather do something that makes me feel happy and makes me feel like I'm just connected to myself and my body. That could mean that instead of going to the gym to lift or do some crazy Peloton workout, instead I'll go for a longer walk with my dog Kima, or I will rollerblade, because that's really fun for me and it's such a hard workout, but it's something where I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to choose today. I actually did a TikTok about that, about how, I'm telling myself like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. And you know what? I didn't go to the gym. And I think a lot of times we're in this environment of like hustle culture, and like, especially when you make a decision to focus on your fitness more and get more into the gym, you get into this culture of like no rest days and no days off and just grind it out. And the truth is our bodies do need rest, and rest days are such an important component. Doing activities that aren't super structured is a great part of our fitness journey and our self-love journey. It's something that really helped me because I had been in such a restrictive environment when it came to fitness and health that it was honestly so important for me to have a chapter in my life where I didn't go to the gym, but I still worked out in other ways and moved my body in other ways. It was really, really, really healing for me. And so I never want you to feel guilty if you feel like you do need something else in that moment. But I think it's just coming back to the whole, I don't feel like it. That's something where it can be tricking ourselves a lot of times. Like, we're trying to get out of it. Our inner mean girl or self-sabotage inside, basically we're trying to self-sabotage our goals and succeeding. And there's a lot of other things that come into that, and I can't get all of it into one episode. But when it comes to self-sabotage, there's so often we get in our own way, right? We get in our own way and we hold ourselves back, and we don't do the things that are actually going to help us create change. We spend so much time researching all the ways to eat healthier, or creating a meal plan, or, writing down your workout program or whatever it is. But then for some reason, we're not showing up for ourselves. Right? We're not showing up for ourselves. And I think a lot of times we put this pressure of perfection on us. So when we're not feeling 100% and we're like, I can't go to the gym for a full hour, it keeps us from even showing up for ourselves a little bit. So that's why that question of what does my highest self need today can be really powerful. Another big tip that I would give is take 5. So what I do, especially when I am struggling with my mental health, is I give myself 5 minutes to start moving, then decide if I want to stop. So I will start walking on the treadmill for 5 minutes, and then I can decide, you know what? I am going to not do this weightlifting program today. I'm going to shift out and go for a longer walk. Giving yourself 5 minutes in a different state, instead of like staying, so don't take 5 while you're in bed, right? Don't hit snooze and be like, I'm going to take 5 and, still stay under the covers. What I mean by that is take 5 with some form of movement towards whatever the goal is that you want to do. So even outside of fitness, let's say that you are struggling to get a project done. You were like, I've been putting off doing this email for my boss, or I've been putting off starting this project, this passion project that I have. Give yourself 5 minutes just to freely get started with it, and then not put yourself in this pressure of it having to get done in one session of you sitting there. We put so much pressure on ourselves for things to be perfect, for things to get done all at once, that it makes us put off our production. It makes us put off our success and put off our goals. And instead, if you release that need for it to all get done at once and just allow yourself some space to get started and not focus on it having to start perfectly, that is what's going to help you actually create change. Okay, another big part of this is to be intentional. This is a hard one, because I'm going to be real with you. Okay, I'm going to be real with you because, J.Go's nice, right? I'm so nice. Okay, the truth is, a lot of people talk a lot of shit. They say they want to change and they don't take any action towards it. And I'm not saying you need to step up and do everything in one day, which I think is what holds us back because we think it has to be all done at once. But you need to start taking some steps and actions towards your highest self, towards what you actually want to achieve. We speak about it, right? January hits and we have all these crazy goals for ourselves, but then we don't even take the time to think, how am I going to make that happen? Did I set aside time to actually work out? Did I put it in my schedule? If the answer is no, you're counting yourself out before you even get started, right? So set aside time to complete these goals, these habits that you really want to achieve, and actually create habit loops with rewards that are going to help you achieve these goals. I talk about this in depth in the BCB course that we're creating right now, Busy BCB. Before this course, I've only talked about it in the Body Confident Blueprint coaching program, but now I'm actually going to be offering it in the signature course that's Go at Your Own Pace. So if you're like, oh my gosh, that's what I need to figure out how to get started, how to shift my habits, my mindset, my thinking, so I can actually achieve these goals, Busy BCB is for you. Like 110%, you need this course. And the coolest thing about this course is by being a part of the Busy BCB course, you actually are going to get credit towards joining BCB in the future if that's something that you want to do. So if within the course you get started and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this, but I also want group support, I honor that and gift you and get you into the course as long as it's a good fit. So you still have to apply, but upon enrollment, you're going to get the money that you paid for the course back, which I just think is really important because some people aren't sure if it's the right time for them to start or if they want to go through it on their own pace. And so that's the beautiful thing about this is you can do the course at your own pace, but if you decide that you do want to be a part of the group program, you absolutely can. So we go into an entire module is all about habits and creating change that lasts. So if that's something that you're looking for, boom, you need to go ahead and click the link in my bio before this even ends. But when it comes back to intention, like I said, a lot of times people want to create change, but they count themselves out before they even get started. It's almost like you're trying to prove to yourself that you knew you were going to fail. That sounds mean, right? I mean that out of love. We tell ourselves these things and it's like we start something and basically as soon as we get started, we start to self-sabotage. We start to do things that aren't serving our highest self, that aren't helping us get closer to our goals. And we're like, oh, why am I doing this? I know I shouldn't be staying up late. I know that I want to get up early and have a great day. Why am I staying up so late? And it's like we want to prove to ourselves, see, I knew you couldn't do it. I knew you wouldn't be able to do this. I knew you couldn't change your life for the better. I knew you were going to just start back over. And we start to get really mean and tear ourselves down. And this self-sabotage is not helping anyone. It's holding us back. You are holding yourself back by waiting to do the shit until you feel motivated. We are so focused on this term motivation that we are not actually creating change that lasts. We're like, I'm just going to wait until I'm motivated, or we get motivated and that's great. But then on days where we have less energy or we're not motivated, it turns into this like guilt trip where we're like, you're terrible. I can't believe you're quitting. I can't believe you're not wanting to go to the gym. I can't believe this. Instead of just saying, hey, what does my highest self need today? Oh, you need to go on a longer walk? That's awesome. You honor that, you do that, and it doesn't snowball into completely uprooting all the goals and habits that you've been doing. So getting clear on those goals and the why behind it is going to help you stay strong in those goals. It's going to help you stop holding yourself back, and it's going to create a lifestyle that supports what you want out of life. So you need to be the one to start doing that. You need to be the one to invest the time in yourself. I had so many people that, again, this is the real talk, J.Go. So many people that wanted to do my Start 2022 For You vision board challenge. They wanted to, but they were like, I don't have time for 30 minutes to sit down and write my goals. And I'm like, if you don't have time, if you don't have 30 minutes to sit down and focus on you and your goals, you are going to be exactly where you were a year from now. Change will not happen if you're not willing to step into it. It's uncomfortable. You are going to have to switch some things around. You will probably have to reprioritize your time. But I find most often when my clients are doing their audit, which another plug, you get to do your lifestyle audit when you are doing the Busy BCB course. But when they do these audits, they're like, holy crap, J.Go, like I didn't realize how much of my day was not intentional. It was like I was just going through the motions. I would grab my phone and just start scrolling for hours. I would get focused on a certain schedule with my meetings, and then between meetings, I didn't do anything for myself. I just felt like I always had to work. So you aren't being intentional with your schedule and your routine. And the thing is, I used to think that I'm super spontaneous, and I used to be so against routine and structure. And I realized in the real world as an adult, if you don't create a routine for yourself and boundaries and having a specific order of doing things in the morning and at night, someone else is going to take that time from you. If you're not carving out that time in your day, someone else will. And I want you to be able to recognize that you're worth taking time for. You're worth, really, really prioritizing your health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and reconnecting with yourself. So I want you to stop hiding from who you're meant to be and start owning it. Step into it, create the change that needs to happen, and stop seeking motivation. Start seeking real change. Thank you for being here today. I hope that this got you excited. If you've had that thought, you're thinking, I don't feel like doing something today, I want you to do it. I'm telling you right now, just take 5 minutes, get started right after this. Go ahead and before you even close this app on your phone, take a screenshot, and I want you to go and do it, whatever it is, and then let me know you've done it. So take a screenshot of you sitting at your desk getting it done, or going on a walk, or going to the gym, or going grocery shopping, or meal prepping, whatever it is that you've been holding yourself back from doing that is going to make you feel better. Your highest self is going to thank you later for doing this one thing. Do it. Share it and celebrate it, because that is what helps create a habit that lasts. Thank you guys for being here today. If you want more, make sure you click the link in my bio and apply to Busy BCB. You get to be a part of that beta round. This is the only time you're going to get a live coaching component with this at this price. It is absolutely crazy because I do not do coaching at under $500. That's just not the case. So the fact that you get to have this and you get to have the first aspect of these modules, and then eventually when we create the course this spring, you're going to get the final product that you helped create. How cool is that? I absolutely love it. I would love for you to be a part of this. If you're feeling called in this way to make some change this spring, now is the time to be a part of Busy BCB. I will see you in there. We start on Thursday. See you then. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here, and honestly, don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at J.Go Fit Life. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.